Good morning, Pittsburgh. Welcome to Pitt to the Point. I'm your host, Chris Cornejo.
And I'm also your host, Sarah Sarignano. Thank you for joining us here in the studio this morning. Pitt to the Point covers everything going on at the University of Pittsburgh.
All the way to the point. That's
point.
right. We cover news for the entire Pittsburgh area. Pitt to the Point is a 1-hour news magazine show.
We'll be discussing everything going on in the city, from entertainment, politics, and sports, to keeping you up to date on what's happening on campus at the University of Pittsburgh as well. But most importantly, we're getting you guys ready to start your Pittsburgh day off right. And in local news, the Bloomfield Starbucks is the first Pittsburgh store within the franchise to unionize. The employees are fighting against the company, who have made it clear they are uninterested in cooperating with union efforts. The employees are seeking to join Workers United in North America under the hospitality, manufacturing, apparel, and textile industries. Employees state that they are interested in unionizing due to the poor workplace conditions and the low pay rates. There are only roughly 50 Starbucks across the country that are under this process of unionization at this time. To quote a letter written by organizers to Starbucks CEO Kevin Johnson, the Bloomfield Starbucks employees stated, "Please remember that the core of Starbucks is not just the coffee and its customers. The core of Starbucks is its partners. Pittsburgh is a union town. It is our turn to join that history."
It is a union town indeed, and we'll see how the development with the Starbucks in Bloomfield plays out in the next couple of days.
Definitely keeping an eye on that.
Yes, absolutely. Now we're going to catch up with Jackie Napier with the Pittsburgh City Beat. Jackie?
Street Medicine, this groundbreaking global initiative, is providing healthcare to those experiencing homelessness while simultaneously reducing avoidable and costly emergency room visits. I had the privilege of speaking with the founder of the Street Medicine Institute in 2015 CNN hero, Dr. Jim Withers of Pittsburgh Mercy. Here's what Dr. Withers had to say about how he is going to the people.
Dr. Jim Withers is the founder of the Street Medicine Institute, a powerful global movement for social change and healthcare equality.
I had a patient come in the hospital. It was a cold winter, and this guy had been on the street for years. I didn't know him, and I tried to convince him to stay in the hospital. He was insisting on leaving, and I thought my people skills were pretty good at that point, but he finally just said, "I'm sorry, I got to go," and he left, and I learned that he froze to death. And of course, it was a tragedy and really shook me up, but it also kind of challenged me to say, well, you're looking for a new arena, an opportunity to try to reach out to people. And so maybe it's right here in Pittsburgh. Maybe you don't have to go overseas to find these experiences. And so that's when I began really looking at some way to go out under bridges here in Pittsburgh and get to know the people and maybe learn from them how to do medicine differently. And pretty soon I had a practice from one bridge to another with referrals from homeless people to other homeless people. And I was in a different world really quickly, but I couldn't turn my back on it because I realized that as far as the people on the streets were concerned, they were very disillusioned with healthcare, bitter, hurt. And they were not about to go seeking care. Many said, "I'd rather die than go to the hospital." And many of them were disillusioned with shelters and other things. And so the only way to make it work was to try to start where they were and begin treating them. I realized I needed a guide. So I found a guy who had been homeless when he was younger, and he was taking blankets and food out to people. And I asked him if I could come along, and he said, "Okay, just don't dress like a doctor." And he used stronger language. He said, "Don't be a jerk." And so I found a book that has a chapter in it on how to dress like a homeless person. And so I said, "Okay, I can do this." So there I was putting dirt in my hair and on my clothes and stuff because I really wanted to get it right. And I showed up, and Mike said, "Well, you've got the look, let's see if you can keep up." And really, it's a privilege to be welcomed into someone else's world and understand healthcare from that perspective. From the system side, you're just saying, well, why can't they cooperate? Why can't they show up on time? Why can't they get a job? Why can't they do this or that? And well, if you're really asking those questions, then you should go and sit with someone and ask them why, rather than just use that as a phrase to dismiss them. So we have people with high blood pressure and asthma and some diabetes. There's a lot of mental health illness, probably more than you'd think. You look at folks and you say, well, that person looks like they can get a job. Well, if you get to know them, you realize that they really are pretty disabled. And that's a big part of it, is navigating people into mental health services. Addictions, of course, we do a lot of harm reduction with clean needles and Narcan, and there are folks in town who are doing Suboxone on the street now. Our biggest recent cause of death is overdose by far.
At the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, street medicine worked with the mayor's office to set up sites with toilets, hand washing stations, and water supplies.
There's a lot of initial stigma and negativity across the country directed at people on the street. And then we had to find new protocols, new ways of going into the camps. We had to work better than we ever had with other partners, the city, the county health department, the other shelters and things, to create a coordinated system. And bit by bit, we came up with protocols and ways of getting PPE out there. And there was a professor at Pitt who provided us testing materials way before anybody else. Yeah, it's about love. And we don't get to exercise love directly very much, maybe in our personal lives, but I think love should work its way back into our society more. And, I'm lucky. My field is just, it's right there, sloppy sometimes, but it's really right there. And I like that a lot.
Okay.
Love you.
During our conversation, Dr. Withers said that an important part of his mission is trying to show every patient that they matter. It certainly goes without saying that the work street medicine is doing matters. If you would like to support Street Medicine Institute, please head to streetmedicine.org to donate or learn more. For Pitt to the Point, I'm City Beat reporter Jackie Napier. Over to you, Sarah and Chris.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Yes, that was a fantastic report on street medicine, something I think everybody could benefit knowing just a little bit more of. Now, let's talk politics. Up next, we've got political reporter Maggie McLeod. Maggie, what do you got for us?
Mom, veteran, author, and now senatorial candidate Kathy Barnett is proudly running Republican in hopes of showing that when you break stereotypes and boundaries, you become a victor, not a victim. You often say you're not asking to be admitted into the American dream, you are the American dream. Can you elaborate on what this means?
You know, we heard Biden say, if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black. And there's a lot of people who say that, right? Who believe that if you're black, you must vote Democrat. They don't say that for white people. They don't say that for Hispanics. They don't say that for Indians. They don't say that for Chinese people. It's specifically black people, right? As if we are owned once more by the Democrat Party. And that led me off what we call the Democrat plantation and start looking at other political affiliations and trying to figure out, well, who am I? What do I believe? And let me find people who closely represent who I am. I live in Montgomery County. Montgomery County is the second wealthiest county in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Yet where black people live in my county, it is 35% below the poverty level. And yet they were having all of these Black Lives Matter rallies in my county, and they never would invite me to come speak, right? And I'm black, but I'm the wrong kind of black person. I'm a conservative black person. And that's not the message they want black people to hear.
Barnett's vision of stepping outside the box and taking pride in being a black Republican is something she looks to instill in her two children.
I have taught my children, I'm a black woman married to a black man, raising black babies, and I have taught my children that we will judge people based on the content of their character. Go figure, right? When a black person decides to think for themselves, and that just because I'm black does not mean you get to control how I think or how I vote. I now get to stand on the shoulders of all who have come before me and paid tremendous sacrifices, that I do not walk around acting like a victim, or I don't walk around allowing other people to marginalize me and tell me who I am, right? I get to just go live my life. And so that's what I've chosen to do.
As a black politician, Barnett shares her thoughts on one of her more controversial platforms.
Yeah, critical race theory is going to make our country racist again. I feel it. I feel it as I'm driving all across the Commonwealth. We're traveling over 1,000 miles at this point every single week, and we've been keeping this pace up for some time now, and I can feel the pressure that people are under. Progressives call themselves progressive. They're not. they're actually regressing. Everything, they're taking us back in time, all the things we've had to fight for, and now today, regressive. We're like going back in time. And likewise with critical race theory, we're churning out little races, right? And it's not enough that we're doing it at the collegiate level, but now we're doing it as they're trying to bring it in to kindergarten and to first grade and second grade, right? Trying to teach our children to see each other based on the color of their skin.
We appreciate senatorial candidate Kathy Barnett sitting down to speak with Pitt to the Point. Remember to go out and vote on November 8th, 2022 for Pennsylvania Senate. I'm Pitt to the Point political reporter Maggie McLeod. Back to you, Sarah and Chris.
Thank you so much, Maggie. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on that Senate race. Pittsburgh is a city of hills and valleys, as we all know. While this makes for great scenery, it also provides logistical challenges to the city that many towns don't have to deal with.
Absolutely. Narrow cobblestone streets along steep slopes make for a number of challenges. Combine that with balancing the needs of both college campuses and residential neighborhoods.
This highlights the importance of urban planning. The profession of today's alumni spotlight, Eric Macadangdang.
I'm Eric Macadangdang. I am currently a graduate student at the University of Pittsburgh at the Graduate School of Public and International Affairs. I'm doing my master's in public administration in urban affairs and planning, but I had just graduated from Pitt spring of 2021 as an undergraduate, getting my bachelor's in urban studies and also history and philosophy of science. I also served as president of the student government board for the undergraduate student body during my senior year. Urban planning in its most basic sense is making sure that we're designing and strategizing urban regions to accommodate people. At least that's my definition, over the past few summers interning for Oakland's registered community organization, so the Oakland Planning and Development Corporation, OPDC. Oakland has a large history of being a working class immigrant community, and the university moved into Oakland at the beginning of the 20th century, and it was still a thriving immigrant community, but over time, as the university grew in its capacity, it wanted to grow spatially. And so that created a lot of conflict and a lot of tension between the people who call Oakland home and the people who go there for work and study and call the university their home. We were a city that had a population almost double what it has now. And so what does that mean? You have cut significantly the tax base for the city that is important in maintaining roads and potholes and water lines and bridges to a point where it's a game of catch up in a lot of ways. Whenever people have grand plans for re-envisioning a neighborhood, or re-envisioning a main street, or a block, it means reaching out and meeting people where they are, making sure that they are involved and that they are a valued member of the decision-making process. Where I see myself in the future is listening and moderating and making sure that we take the best points out of everybody and creating a product that benefits the greatest number of people.
Aside from serving in student government during his 4 years at Pitt, Eric interned at the Oakland Planning and Development Corporation as a community services and real estate consultant.
Outside of his work in urban planning, Eric Macadangdang has worked to promote social justice reform at Pitt and connect Oakland residents and Pitt students to create a better Oakland community.
Coming up, we'll catch up with our Medical Minute team and meet with some special guests right here, live on Pitt to the Point.
Stick around and we'll see you here right back here after the break.
The University Store on 5th is more than a college bookstore. We are independently owned and operated by the university, and we've been that way for more than 100 years. The consistent campus support allows us to respond to the changing needs of our customers, provide personalized service and quality merchandise, support the university's initiatives, and represent Pitt with Panther pride.
The U-Store has all the course materials that you need. Whether you want to purchase or rent your books, or you're interested in digital materials, we can help.
Looking for the latest tech and accessories? We carry all the biggest brands. As an Apple authorized campus store, you will receive the best in educational pricing on your favorite Apple products. Plus, our repair center and student technical support are conveniently located in the store and are ready to get your tech back in working order.
Visit us to shop the latest Pitt apparel, school supplies, and the largest independent book selection in the city, all without leaving campus. And when it comes to services, visit the Center for Creativity, which offers members of the Pitt community a space to engage their hands and minds.
It's easy to shop online and pick up in store. We accept financial aid and Panther funds for your convenience. At the U-Store, we put pride in everything that we do so that you can put Panther pride in everything that you do. So stop by today and let us help you. Hail to Pitt!
Welcome back to Pitt to the Point. Coming up with all the big stories making the presses on campus churn, it's the Pitt News on Pitt to the Point. Pitt has begun the process of terminating 9 staff members and disciplining 3 faculty members who are not in compliance with the university's COVID-19 vaccine mandate. The University Times first reported on the move Thursday.
When NC State and Pitt clashed on the basketball court Saturday, it was a battle of 2 teams trying to avoid last place in the ACC. Pitt threatened to give the game away multiple times late in the contest, but timely scoring from junior guard Ithiel Horton put the Panthers over the top for a 71-69 win.
The Pitt News reports that an anonymous student who stayed in isolation housing for 5 days reported seeing multiple roaches in the apartment during their stay. A university spokesperson reported to the Pitt News that the university is committed to safety, cleanliness, and comfort in isolation housing.
I'm Claire Sheedy, and I'm the assistant visual editor and a news writer on Val Njai, who is the Alumni Association president, and she graduated from the University of Pittsburgh in 1971. Going in, I researched the computer center takeover, 1, because it was interesting, and 2, I was told she was involved, but I learned through the process that wasn't a huge part of like what the story became, because that wasn't part of our conversation. But yeah, I talked to Val and I talked to one of her mentees. Honestly, I feel I'm happy that we got to spotlight her. I think her story is really something that that should be, you know, spread, and I feel like confident and good about that. I hope she likes it, I guess, is my only thing. If she's happy with it, and if that's good enough for me.
Thanks to the Pitt News. As always, check them out. You will be able to read all these stories and more by logging on to www.pittnews.com or by picking up a paper at an on-campus dispenser.
And now we'd like to welcome the Deputy Director of the Pittsburgh Film Office, Heather Bolton. Heather, welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Good morning. Good morning.
Snowy
Thank you so
morning.
much. Now, Heather, thank you so much for joining us here on Pitt to the Point. We are, extremely excited to have you here. Now, our first question: Pittsburgh has recently been ranked as by Movie Makers Magazine as one of the best places to live as a filmmaker in 2022. What do you think is it about the Steel City that draws people to make movies here?
Well, actually, this is our 5th year in a row that we've been in the top 5, which is amazing. And the reason that people love to come and make films here is the crews that we have, over 5,000 crew members working regularly and daily. And they are true Pittsburghers. They are hardworking and they are to the point, and they get the job done. So everyone loves to be here. We have so much to offer as far as the topography and the architecture. And really, we always say the only thing we can't do is desert and beaches. But anything you can be within, 30 miles, you can be in a really rural area or downtown, and we can make that look like any city. Sometimes we've said we can make New York look better than New York because it's filled in for several cities, and it looks amazing.
Yeah, I love that. Speaking of these productions, there's currently, and correct me if I'm wrong, 9 productions that have been shooting in Pittsburgh right now. Could you tell us a little bit about these projects that we have going on?
Yeah, so we don't have 9 shooting right now. We had a total record-breaking and history-making 2021. We had 10 productions in the area, and currently we just are getting ready to. The Pale Blue Eye with Christian Bale has just wrapped. He has been here 3 times now. Of course, with Batman, we just saw there, and Out of the Furnace, and now The Pale Blue Eye. And this is the director Scott Cooper's second film, pairing with him actually here. And we also just wrapped Rustin, which is the Higher Ground Productions, which is Michelle Barack Obama's production company. They were doing a story on Bayard Rustin. So then we also have Tom Hanks beginning production on A Man Called Otto. So that is really big stars. And what is really exciting is that both of those films just broke the records for the European film market sales. So The Pale Blue Eye had sold for 55 million, and A Man Called Otto just beat that with 60 million.
Wow.
So, yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah, that is absolutely amazing. And as the industry opportunities obviously continue to expand, there's so many fantastic new things going on. What do you see could possibly happen in the future? What do you perceive the future of film and television in the city of Pittsburgh looking like?
Oh, we continue to keep growing, and we have such great crews and vendors who support these productions. People love, the studios love coming here. They love working with all of the people here. And really it's, we're lucky to have the tax credits. That is a primary reason why productions come here. And unfortunately, we are always oversubscribed and underfunded. So we are always trying to tell our story, to get to the legislators So they understand how important it is to increase those tax credits because people want to be here, and that is the motivating factor. So the more people we can tell to get that a tax credit increase, the better.
Right, of course, we bet. Now, Heather, thank you so much for all your time today, and we appreciate you answering all of our questions. For all of you Pittsburgh natives watching out there, be sure to look out for any projects coming to this city on the silver screens near you. Now, we're going to send it over to Vineet Joshi for your Pitt Medical Minute. Vineet, what do you have for us?
Hey, folks. College, a time of intense academic rigor to prepare students for the professional world. But with this rigor can come those droughts of periodic sleep deprivation. And to get our sleep back on track, some may resort to over-the-counter supplements, including melatonin. But a recent article from Medical News Today cites a study from the Journal of the American Medical Association, which found from 2005 to 2018, an increase in subjects have appeared to be taking melatonin for sleep help, although this could be a cause for possible concern. With us today, we have Kritika Banerjee, a Pitt student, and Ms. Mary Beth Gallagher, a retired nurse and author of the Medical News Today article. We want to welcome you both on the air today. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have some technical difficulties with getting Ms. Gallagher on the air, but we should have her eventually. But I'll start with you, Kritika. As a Pitt student and soon to be in grad school, what has been your experience with taking melatonin, and how effective do you think it has been?
Yeah, so I think I've turned to melatonin kind of at times with like really high anxiety or stress when I knew I really needed like good uninterrupted sleep. So I've often taken it also when I've been sick or wanting to take something more natural than say NyQuil or something. So it's definitely helped me personally a lot when I felt it was necessary. And so far, it's luckily been very effective for me. I've been kind of at the same dose since I don't take it very regularly, but I would say there's definitely been an increase in my intake since college for sure.
Yeah, I can relate to that as a Pitt student and a STEM major. Yeah, sleep is definitely really important. I believe we have Ms. Gallagher on the air, if we could bring her on the panel. But just another, I believe she's here. Ms. Gallagher, can you hear us?
Good morning. I can't get you on my computer, so I have you on my iPhone. I can't get any
No
sound.
problem at all.
Computer. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem. Thank you for being here.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
Wonderful.
Can you hear me okay?
So,
is that all
yes,
right?
we can hear you perfectly.
Great.
Yes. So my first question. So when you were writing this article on Medical News Today, you interviewed multiple sleep science experts who expressed certain concerns over taking melatonin for sleep. What kind of concerns or precautions are we talking about here?
Well, one of the biggest concerns is flooding the system with serotonin because that can have potentially very harmful side effects. Also, by taking too much, you nullify the good effects of the melatonin. It has lots of good effects for your body. It can help with seasonal affective disorder. It helps you fall asleep and stay asleep. It can help with jet lag. It helps your cells to perform at an optimal level by virtue of its interaction with mitochondria.
Right. Yeah. Well, Ms. Gallagher, thank you so much for coming on. Kritika, you as well. We really do appreciate both of your insights on this topic.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Of course. So, of course, there are still a lot more unanswered questions regarding melatonin use for sleep, but the golden rule is to always consult your physician before taking any medication, including unregulated over-the-counter supplements. From Pitt to the Point, I'm medical reporter Vineet Joshi. Sarah, Chris?
Thanks, Vineet. Coming up next, we're digging into some Pittsburgh sports and catching up with one of the university's most anticipated dance performance events, DearNet.
We'll see you after the break.
The University Store on Fifth is more than a college bookstore. We are independently owned and operated by the university, and we've been that way for more than 100 years. The consistent campus support allows us to respond to the changing needs of our customers, provide personalized service and quality merchandise, support the university's initiatives, and represent Pitt with Panther pride.
The U Store has all the course materials that you need. Whether you want to purchase or rent your books, or you're interested in digital materials, we can help.
Looking for the latest tech and accessories? We carry all the biggest brands. As an Apple authorized campus store, you will receive the best in educational pricing on your favorite Apple products. Plus, our repair center and student technical support are conveniently located in the store and are ready to get your tech back in working order.
Visit us to shop the latest Pitt apparel, school supplies, and the largest independent book selection in the city, all without leaving campus. And when it comes to services, visit the Center for Creativity, which offers members of the Pitt community a space to engage their hands and minds.
It's easy to shop online and pick up in store. We accept financial aid and Panther funds for your convenience. At the U Store, we put pride in everything that we do so that you can put Panther pride in everything that you do. So stop by today and let us help you. HUP is short for Hail to Pitt, our Panther fight song. But we also use it to express just how much we love it here. There are so many reasons to hail, but here are just a few. Hail to Kathy!
Hail to the Nationality Room.
To WPTS Radio.
Hail to Oakland.
Hail to Shenley Plaza.
Hail to Forbes Avenue.
Hail to the towers.
Hail to Cardiac Hill. To Hillman Library. Hail to the University of Thriftburg.
Hail to Pittsburgh.
Hail to Heinz Field.
Hail to Pitt.
So one inventive tool that the University of Pittsburgh has is Pitt Funds Me. So Pitt Funds Me is for outside scholarships that you can review and apply for as well. There's 8,000 plus scholarships on that website. These scholarships have been vetted as good and reliable resources, so you can guarantee that these are not resources that are trying to steal money or trying to scam you in any way. Any student has access to this, even admitted students who have not deposited yet. When you go into your my.pitt.edu, you'll want to search in the Ask Kathy box, Pitt Funds Me, and make sure instead of an S in Pitt Funds Me, you're going to put a $sign. That will allow you to go into the portal to be able to look at all the outside scholarship opportunities that fit your specific profile. They will ask several questions. You do not have to answer all questions or any questions if you don't want to, but the more questions you answer, the more opportunities that become available to you to apply.
And former Pitt and Penn Hills High School superstar Aaron Donald has climbed to the top of the football world. The University of Pittsburgh legend becomes yet another name on the list of Super Bowl champions the school has produced. The Los Angeles Rams defensive tackle and this year's NFL Defensive Player of the Year, Aaron Donald becomes another local phenom to achieve the ultimate glory on the gridiron. University of Pittsburgh fans all over can rejoice as again one of their own is achieving this ultimate glory. Aaron Donald had 2 sacks in a resounding Super Bowl victory against the Bengals. Excuse me, the big game victory against the Bengals. Now we have Molly Hunter with Pitt Sports Update. Molly?
Good morning, Pitt fans. I am here with your weekly Pitt Sports Update. First, women's lacrosse won their first ever game in program history against the Duquesne Dukes last Friday.
Star of the game, Kieran Ratliff-Kilborn was honored as Student Athlete of the Week for her performance last Friday as she netted 4 out of the 9 goals and the first goal in Pitt lacrosse history. I was lucky enough to score some time with Kieran earlier this week. Kieran, how did it feel to finally step out onto the field after spending so much time preparing for your first ever game day?
It was the best feeling. I mean, walking into the locker room pregame with all the other seniors, just seeing everybody's uniforms was so surreal, and hearing the starting lineups and actually being able to walk on the field fully uniform, decked out, and all the Pitt fans, it was the most exciting thing.
And Kieran, you were also named Student Athlete of the Week along with the Field Horton from men's basketball. What was your reaction to earning that honor?
That was so cool. Prior to being on the team, obviously I was on the club team, so I'd follow Pitt athletics and I'd see, every week new athletes and the soccer players and all of that. And I think just seeing my name on there was so cool and almost surreal.
Chloe Jones, Paige Petty, Kate Elam, and Carly Leach also netted goals to contribute to the win. You have not 1, but 2 chances to head out to Highmark Stadium this weekend to be a part of history and support Pitt lacrosse. They take on Siena tonight at 5 and St. Bonaventure Sunday at 12. Don't forget, admission is free for all during the inaugural season. Up next, we have Pitt softball, who traveled to Leesburg, Florida last weekend to open up their season at the Northern Lights Invitational. Freshman from Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania, Haley Brunson was named to the all-tournament team for her performance over the course of the weekend. Brunson sported a team-high .471 batting average in 3 runs. Pitt softball currently has a 2-3 record as they head to the Texas A&M Invitational in College Station this weekend. They will go head-to-head with Missouri State, Stephen F. Austin, Texas A&M, and Kansas. Mark your calendars. Your first chance to catch Pitt softball at home is March 16th at 5 p.m. against longtime rival Penn State.
And finally, Pitt baseball travels to Port Charlotte to open their season in a 4-game series at the Snowbird Classic this weekend. In just a few short hours, the Panthers will play their first game of the season against Canisius College. Your first chance to see some Panther baseball action will be March 15th at 3 p.m. against Bucknell University at Charles L. Cost Field. Thanks for following along with this week's Pitt Sports Update. And up next, we're going to be hearing from Andrew Mundy with the City Sports Beat.
Thank you, Molly. The Pittsburgh Riverhounds of the United Soccer League continue their club friendlies this weekend as they take on the University of Pittsburgh men's soccer team tomorrow. As the season comes to an open, however, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds have added a couple new notable faces to their roster, one of which being an international level player who has already made history in the USL, Dane Kelly.
The Pittsburgh Riverhounds signed veteran free agent Dane Kelly to a 2-year contract this past offseason. Kelly, a member of the Jamaican national team, is the all-time leading scorer in the United Soccer League with 98 goals since 2012. Tomorrow, Kelly and the Riverhounds take on the University of Pittsburgh in a preseason friendly at Ambrose Urbanic Field.
Playing against a college team, they always have something to prove because they're playing against the pro. So we know it's going to be a tough game, and it's still in preseason for us. I don't know if the season is already started for them, but it's still preseason for us. So our main focus is to get our fitness up and work on our style of play, so that's the main thing right now. We're still gelling and we're still getting to know each other, so I can't say how the game will go, but we're definitely looking to win every preseason game, so it should be a good one and a fun one.
Kelly and the Riverhounds finished last season in 3rd place in the Eastern Atlantic Conference. With a couple key additions and a cohesive group of players, fans should expect nothing short of a successful season this year.
To the Steel Army, we're definitely trying to get you guys a trophy this season. Last season was tough because the team didn't get to play in the playoffs, but this season we're definitely looking forward to bring you guys silverwares.
So what should fans expect from Kelly at games this season?
I mean, they're going to expect a lot of goals, and whatever I can do to help the team other than scoring, I'm down with it, like stopping a goal or breaking up a play, I'm that guy, I'm not a forward that just look to score goals. I look to help the team defend, I look to assist, so I'm not just a guy who look to score goals. So the fans can look for both ends from me.
The Riverhounds kick off their season on March 12th against Memphis 901 FC in Tennessee. Their first home match is March 19th against Hartford Athletic. The USL season runs from the beginning of March all the way until mid-October with the playoffs to follow. You can see the Riverhounds schedule for their home matches on your screen or on their website, riverhounds.com. I spoke with Dane Kelly, and he made it clear that for himself and for the rest of the team, they're excited for this season. And they want to prove themselves worthy of the title, as last year they came in third in the playoffs. With Pitt to the Point, I'm City Sports reporter Andrew Mundy. Chris, Sarah.
Thanks, Andrew. This Saturday, Soldiers and Sailors will host the University of Pittsburgh's Classical Indian Dance Competition. It'll be Pitt's 10th anniversary, and the proceeds of the competition go to the Birmingham Free Clinic of Pittsburgh, which provides free medical care for Pittsburgh's underserved population. The competition provides collegiate classical dance teams with a platform to showcase their talents and has become a beloved tradition of competitors and fans alike. Students have been preparing all year and are looking forward to this Saturday's competition.
So DIRNA is the University of Pittsburgh's annual Indian classical dance competition. This is actually our 10th year, and we're also a nonprofit organization. So all of the proceeds from our ticket sales actually go to the Birmingham Free Clinic, which is a clinic here in Pittsburgh that provides free medical care for the underserved population in Pittsburgh.
The performance is so cool. Like, teams come with such creative ideas every single year. Like, we have things from real world events that are social issues, to things like mythology and just fun themes from stories that we've been told our whole lives, and new takes on old stories as well.
Coming up, we've got our feature club of the week and our weekly Hollywood scope right here on Pitt to the Point.
The University Store on 5th is more than a college bookstore. We are independently owned and operated by the university, and we've been that way for more than 100 years. The consistent campus support allows us to respond to the changing needs of our customers, provide personalized service and quality merchandise, support the university's initiatives, and represent Pitt with Panther pride.
The U-Store has all the course materials that you need. Whether you want to purchase or rent your books, or you're interested in digital materials, we can help.
Looking for the latest tech and accessories? We carry all the biggest brands. As an Apple authorized campus store, you will receive the best in educational pricing on your favorite Apple products. Plus, our repair center and student technical support are conveniently located in the store and are ready to get your tech back in working order.
Visit us to shop the latest Pitt apparel, school supplies, and the largest independent book selection in the city, all without leaving campus. And when it comes to services, visit the Center for Creativity, which offers members of the Pitt community a space to engage their hands and minds.
It's easy to shop online and pick up in store. We accept financial aid and Panther funds for your convenience. At the U-Store, we put pride in everything that we do so that you can put Panther pride in everything that you do. So stop by today and let us help you. Hail to Pitt!
Welcome back to Pitt to the Point. If you're just joining us, we're your hosts, Sarah Sarignano and Chris Cornejo. Thank you for joining us while we get you up to date on all your Pittsburgh news.
Now, just a reminder for all you folks watching out there, Pitt to the Point will air weekly every Friday until April 22nd from 8 to 9 a.m. Eastern Time. A replay of the live broadcast will also air Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern on WPCW TV, KDKA TV's cable channel, and CBSN streaming.
Next up, we'll hand it off to Chase for our Clubbing at Pitt segment, where we're covering the University of Pittsburgh's late-night talk show, Pitt Tonight.
The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel Live, The Daily Show. These are among the names of famous late-night talk shows we all know and recognize. But have you ever heard of Pitt Tonight?
This is your Pitt Tonight host, Victoria Chua.
This week on our Clubbing at Pitt segment, we are featuring Pitt Tonight, the university's best and only late-night talk show, as the members of the club dub it. The show falls under the umbrella of the University of Pittsburgh television station, also known as UPTV, and is an entirely student-run late-night comedy talk show that airs once a month with a live studio audience. It has all the elements of a regular late-night talk show you would see on TV, including a host monologue, interviews, and even live music.
On a monthly basis, we have an episode with a live studio audience. We have a host, her name is Victoria, as well as a house band, so just like The Roots and Jimmy Fallon. We invite a guest on every episode. We have a monologue, a desk piece, a main guest, and then we do a game with the guest, and then we end with a musical guest, which is a local Pittsburgh artist to close out the show.
Ben Asciuto, the newest executive producer of the show, told us about his role and what filling these big shoes means to him.
It's been honestly the best experience I've ever had at the University of Pittsburgh so far. Everyone surrounding me, and including myself, is really passionate about this late night talk show, and you can obviously see that through everyone's involvement. And it's great to just collaborate with everyone because, you know, we're putting on a live performance, and I've always been interested in project-based work.
The writers, like any late-night talk show, are very important to the success of the show. We talked to Olivia Rappaport about her experience being a writer for the show and the dynamic of the writer's room.
It's very collaborative. We sit in a big room and we read out what everyone's written. We have writing where someone sets a 5-minute timer. Everyone writes as many jokes as they can, and then we all read them out loud and we edit them together, and it's really fun. Everyone in Pitt Tonight does feel really close.
The show was founded in 2015 by Jesse Irwin, who was also its first host. Irwin graduated from Pitt and left Pitt Tonight in 2017, but his DNA is still all over the show.
A lot of people have cycled through this late night talk show, and yet we've still been so successful and been around for so long, and the people that make that all possible go on to do amazing things in their life. So I guess the people that come through this program really strive to be the best people they can be and have successful careers.
The show's newest host, Victoria Chua, is going on her second season hosting, and according to the members of the club, the show is just as successful as it was when it started, even with the pandemic ongoing.
Jesse Irwin, who was our first host of Pitt Tonight, he actually came back for the first time since hosting the show, so it was really amazing for him to come back and experience that this program and this show is still around and still kicking, and it's, you know, more successful than ever. Victoria and Jesse really interacted well and had a great conversation, and he shared some of his best memories, so that was great to see that, like, the generations combine and collaborate and have a good time. It's full circle, definitely.
With Pitt to the Point, I'm your Clubbing at Pitt segment producer, Chase Murphy. Back to you in the studio, Sarah and Chris.
Pitt Tonight has 3 remaining shows on February 26th, March 26th, and April 30th. For any updates concerning UPTV, follow them on socials at UPTV Pitt. If you would like to learn more about Pitt Tonight and keep up with the show for some late night laughs, visit their Instagram and Facebook pages or pittonight.wixsite.com. As always, here's Ryan Floyd now with your entertainment update. Ryan?
Thanks so much, Chris. This week I have some theater news to share with you all. After some pandemic problems, the show must go on.
The University of Pittsburgh Department of Theater Arts begins their new production this coming week when they premiere the musical A New Brain at the Charity Randall Theater. The show follows Gordon, a composer, after he collapses and awakens in a hospital where the frog of which he had been writing a song about begins to haunt him. A New Brain is written by William Fine, James Lapine, and directed by True Verrett Fleming. It will run this week through a final matinee performance on February 27th. Proof of vaccination and masks are required to attend the event.
And now I am delighted to have Nandita Mahesh live with me over StreamYard to discuss the show. Nandita, welcome.
Hi, Ryan. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing great.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining me today. I have a few questions for you. What has been the biggest challenge so far with A New Brain in terms of putting production together?
I guess having to deal with distancing and like not being able to touch other actors and really being able to immerse yourself in the scenes truly, and especially having half of our faces covered is pretty difficult. But I think because of how badly all of us miss performing, and seeing as this is the first in-person musical I will have done since my senior year of high school, I think we're all just very excited to even be able to have the opportunity to sing and perform in front of people regardless of any of the circumstances.
Great. Well, tell me about how COVID has complicated the process, because I'm sure that putting a show together in 2022 is much different than this time 2 years ago.
Yeah. So obviously, to be as safe as we can, we were told we could not do a full-on proper musical. And instead, we were told we were going to be performing the show concert style. And when I heard that, I pictured just all of us literally standing on risers on the stage singing through the entire show. So when I found out we actually would be able to stage and, would still be able to dance and stuff, I was so excited. And we basically staged the show completely distanced. And obviously, we will all be wearing masks, which is a little annoying from a performance standpoint, but it's what we need to do to be safe. And I think it does make eye contact a lot more meaningful. So like when I happen to catch someone's eyes, like walking through a scene or something, it's like a really fun experience.
Awesome. Well, what other new experiences has this show brought the cast and crew?
I guess, like I said, we're all very eager to get back to performing. And I remember when we had our first vocal rehearsal, the second we all sang together and, I heard that first harmony, I felt this like overwhelming sense of excitement. Everyone in this cast is extremely, extremely talented and so supportive. And even though we only did start the rehearsal process about a month ago, I would like truly say that I found some of my best friends from the show and just from the department in general. And it's like having a little family. We spend hours upon hours with each other every single day. And even when we have off days, we find ourselves still FaceTiming and constantly texting or just hanging out.
And what other things about the process has been the same regardless of COVID?
Again, I think just the relationships you make while doing a show are like no other. Like I've spent 4 to 10 hours a day with these people for almost an entire month, and you get weirdly close with people while doing so. And it's nice that we all share the same passion for singing and music, and like we all have plans to continue hanging out constantly even after the show closes. And we like fully made plans to write songs. Shameless plug for our music account at One Man Band, but we have all been like talking about writing songs together and just like not stopping seeing each other. And some of us have actually never even seen each other's full faces. Some of us like have only known each other from like the month that we started rehearsals. But although it's not a conventional musical, most of the elements are still the same. And the designers and run crew and production team have still put so much time and effort into ensuring that this is still going to be a really great performance.
Awesome. And one last question for you, Nandita. What can the community expect when they sit down at the Charity Randall Theater this week?
I think the community can expect a really great and moving show. Like you mentioned, the show is about a character named Gordon, who is a composer and musician that finds out he has a seemingly terminal illness in his life, and he's trying to write as many songs as he can with the time he has remaining. And I think something at least I've taken for granted is the idea of taking time and being able to be with people and see people for granted, especially with the pandemic. And I think the music and the dancing and the accompaniment and just the overall sense of excitement that hopefully the audience will get from our energy will just make it a really enjoyable night.
Well, thank you very much, Nandita, for joining me today live on air. A New Brain premieres this Wednesday, and tickets are available at play.pitt.edu. For Pitt to the Point, I'm entertainment reporter Ryan Floyd. Chris, Sarah?
Thanks, Ryan. I personally have a few friends in A New Brain, and I know I'll be checking it out, and I would encourage everybody out there to check it out as well. They've been putting in a lot of hard work.
I bet.
But anyways, out in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, a no-kill animal shelter has become a haven for all injured, starving, neglected, and abused animals, large and small. Let's take a look.
Want to know where you can support the fluffy and feathery friends within your community? Animal Friends of Westmoreland Sanctuary, giving a voice to those who cannot speak. Home to all types of farm animals that have been injured, starving, neglected, ill, or abused. Here at a small farm in Latrobe, these animals have found their safe haven for life. Meet Buddha, known for his fuzzy koala bear ears and loving personality. Buddha was rescued from slaughter, and at just 1 week old, he was terrified and extremely malnourished. He, along with several other animals at the sanctuary, had to be bottle fed around the clock while being given immense amounts of medical care. Now, he and his cow friends spend their days happily grazing among the field. For more information on how to volunteer, donate, visit, or sponsor an animal,
you can email us at info@animalfriendssanctuary.org.
That was an awesome story. Yeah. Do you have any animals, Chris?
Yeah, I actually have a fish named Bubbles. And although I can't take him to an animal shelter, I think it's a heartwarming story regardless. And I'm going to go pet him when I go home.
Pet him?
Yeah, I'm going to try. I think I have a little like dangly thing that I can put in the tank. It'll work.
Definitely don't do that.
Yeah. Anyways, so our air times, of course, as a reminder, are going to be from every Friday until April 22nd from 8 to 9 a.m. Eastern Time. A replay of the live broadcast will also air Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern on WPCW TV, KDKA TV's cable channel, and CBSN streaming. Now, don't forget, this is the era of streaming, so we have to make sure that all of our devices are plugged in, charged, and connected to Wi-Fi. So don't forget to miss us there.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can catch us anywhere, and make sure to keep checking in on our social media page on Instagram and Twitter at Pitt to the Point. I believe we use a number 2.
Yes,
for efficiency's sake.
Something about another company owning the word T and O. I don't understand copyright laws, but like I said, I'm not fighting with anybody. Certainly not the FCC.
Amen. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in this morning to Pitt to the Point, your news source for all things happening at Pitt, all the way to the point.
And thank you to our partners KDKA and CBSN for their incredible support.
Once again, I'm Sarah Sarignano.
And I'm Chris Cornejo.
Thanks for joining us on Pitt to the Point.